If you're looking for a home within walking distance to Benny Russell Park, then come check out my newest listing on Tucker Circle. This 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home is just walking distance to Benny Russell, so let's go check it out together. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in Pace, Florida and the surrounding suburbs, then subscribe below so you can be the first to know about the market in Pace, Florida. Hello, my name is Paula Snow and I've lived here for 19 years now, and my team and I love helping people make their move to the Pensacola, Pace, and Milton, Florida area. And whether that's in 1 month or 3 months, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is in the description, and we'd love to help you make a smooth move to Florida. So when you enter the home, this is the foyer space, and you can see the sellers did some beautiful updates. Here in the foyer, they added this medallion. The dining room is immediately to the left of the front entrance, and it's quite spacious. Sellers have updated with laminate flooring, nice big living room, great for entertaining. This home was built by Adams Homes, and this is one of their most popular floor plans. I think part of it is just because there's like no wasted space in this floor plan. So kitchen area, the sellers added granite counters, and it's got quite the spacious breakfast nook. Around the breakfast bar, you could fit a whole bunch of stools here. I'd say you could comfortably put one there, 2 here, maybe 1 over on this side. Sellers added a very nice backsplash. And this is a nice roomy pantry space. So you can see the shelving in it has been updated. And here is the other view from this side. So what I love about this floor plan is if you like entertaining, I love to cook. So I love the idea of being able to cook and still being able to enjoy chit-chatting with the family. Maybe if you have a TV over on that wall, you could still enjoy watching TV with everybody. So here's the dining room from the other view, and then laundry and garage through here. Nice big spacious laundry area, and it's got some extra shelving over here. So this is a split floor plan with the master on one side of the house, and there is carpet in the bedrooms, tray ceiling fans, crown molding. The whole home has been freshly painted, double vanity in the bathroom, nice big soaking tub, separate water closet, quite the spacious walk-in closet, and then a separate shower. The other bedrooms are on the opposite side of the house. So starting with the bedroom at the front of the house. Another bedroom. A linen closet right here. The other bathroom. And the 4th bedroom. There's a nice covered back porch. Great for sitting outside, enjoying your morning coffee, and just relax. So now that you've seen the inside of this beautiful home, let me give you a tour of the area so that you can have a lay of the land and know where everything is located nearby. Let's jump into the computer and I'll show you around. Alrighty, so I've got my map pulled up and I wanted to kind of show you around so that you know where this neighborhood is located and what's nearby. So I've got it zoomed in pretty close so that you could see the 12 Oaks Plantation neighborhood right here. And if we zoom out, you'll notice that this neighborhood is located right off of West Spencerfield. So one of the things you're going to notice right off the bat is this big square right here. And sorry, my drawing is going to be a little bit crooked. So this is the Spencer Military Airport. This is where you're going to hear a lot of the helicopters flying in from Whiting Field is where they're doing their training. And so they're with their instructor and the student pilot, and they are flying into here. So I don't mind the helicopter noise, and most people don't, but if you are super sensitive to noise, because I do have one couple that came into town this past week and they said, hey, they had picked a neighborhood that was actually right over here. This is where my parents used to live. This is in Brentwood. And so they had asked me, they're like, hey, what's that big square over there? And I told them what it was. And they said, are we going to hear the noise? I said, definitely, you're going to hear the noise. So they decided that because of that, they didn't want to be in this neighborhood, but love this neighborhood as well. So, okay, now that you know where 12 Oaks is located, and as long as you're okay with hearing the helicopters, then I've told you that it's located right off of West Spencer Field. And so the streets around this airfield are all location based. So this is West Spencer Field. This here would be North Spencer Field, East Spencer Field, and South Spencer Field. And so if you were to take West Spencer Field south, you would hit Highway 90, which is the main road here, Highway 90. And this is where you're going to probably do most of your shopping. So you've got a Home Depot here. And if I zoom in, you'll see there's lots of shops right over here in Pace. So if I zoom in really close, you'll see there's a Target, there's a Publix, there's a PetSmart. I love TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx is like my love language. I love going to TJ Maxx. There's a theater right here, the Ridge Cinema 8. There's a Walmart. There's a Home Depot, Chick-fil-A, and there's a bunch of local, I won't say local restaurant, chain restaurants, like there's Chili's, KFC, Zaxby's, Rock and Roll Sushi. There's all sorts of chain restaurants right in this area. There's a Lowe's over here. So that kind of gives you the lay of the land as to where you're going to drive to for shopping. And so you can either decide to go south down West Spencer Field, or you can go north and go up to Berry Hill. So if you go up to Berry Hill, well, this was one of the maps that I had already preset. So from Tucker Circle to get to Home Depot, it's showing right at under 5 miles and about 11 minutes. And I would say traffic should not be too bad. Traffic does get a little bit heavy along 90, but because you're going to have such a little section there to drive in, it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I've mapped out if you were to go north on Spencer Field and take Berry Hill over, there's a Publix over here in this section here on Woodbine Road, and this intersection is called 5 Points. And so when I first moved here, I used to live right over here in Stonebrook, which is a golf course community. And I wondered, like, why is this called 5 Points? And it's because it had 5 roads coming into it. They have since redone the roads, so it no longer has all of the 5 roads coming into it, but locally we still call it 5 Points. So you can either head south to go do your grocery shopping at Publix or at Walmart on Highway 90, or you could head over here and you could drive either way. You could go south on Spencer Field and take Adams Road, or you could go north on Berry Hill over to the Publix that's right here. There is a Santino's Pizza, which is delicious. There's a Subway over here. There is a little gym over here as well. Let me see, what else do I want to show you while I'm on this map? I mentioned Stonebrook Golf Course is right here. So if you love to golf, great golf course. There's also Tanglewood in Milton, which let me just put Tanglewood in here. Tanglewood Golf and Country Club. And these are local, open to the public. So Tanglewood would put you at about just over 7 miles, almost 15 minutes, both public courses. I used to have a membership that covered both Stonebrook and Tanglewood, and then we weren't using it as much. And so we ended up going down to just having the Tanglewood membership. My daughter was on the golf team at Milton High School. And so while she was on the team, we did a lot of playing. She did a lot of playing and practicing at Tanglewood and at Stonebrook. So those are your local, your closest golf courses if you live in the Pace area. Something else I pulled up on the map was going to be NAS Whiting Field. If you are moving here and you are getting stationed at NAS Whiting Field, then you're looking at approximately 15 miles and almost 30 minutes. And so you would come up and you would take Berry Hill all the way over. You would come up Dogwood, and then you would go to NAS Whiting Field there. There is a back way to get there, and that's going to be basically here, coming on Berry Hill, and then you would turn onto Anderson. You would travel a little bit along Willard Norris. You would take Pine Blossom, and then Oriole all the way over to Whiting Field. So that is the back way that I hear a lot of people often take. And then I did also want to show you, if you are stationed at NAS Pensacola, because we do get a lot of people that are stationed in Pensacola, and they request sometimes the Santa Rosa County schools. So they'll want to live in the Pace, Milton, Gulf Breeze area. So if you're stationed at NAS Pensacola, then that is going to be just over a 1 hour drive. And I feel like timing of that does sound good, 34 miles. So I feel like that does sound relatively correct. And it's not so much that the distance is far to NAS Pensacola, but it's just that it's a little bit slow because you're driving over the bridge here, going over from Pace to Pensacola. The second you get on this side of the bridge, you're now in Escambia County, which is Pensacola, and then you're traveling down Davis Highway to get to the interstate. So this is the slowest part of it, is just that you're just traveling down, you've got your speed limit. And so before you hit the interstate, and then you'll get on 110. And so you'll take that down to Fairfield. And so that little piece on the interstate here on 10 and then on 110, that's going to be the fastest part of it. But again, this is going to be the slowest part, just driving down to get to the Naval Air Station. So keep that in mind. If you are stationed at NAS Pensacola, then you're looking at about a 1 hour drive. Something else I wanted to, schools. Let's talk about schools. So this neighborhood, 12 Oaks Plantation, is currently zoned for Pea Ridge Elementary, which I love because my kids went to Pea Ridge. And there's a couple elementary schools in Pace. There is Dixon Primary, which is in Pace, right on 90, and there's Pea Ridge. And so I went through a divorce years ago, and I was living with my parents. And so at the time that I was living with my parents, the girls were zoned for Pea Ridge, and then we built a house in Pace further off on Education, and then we were zoned for Dixon Elementary. And so I just wanted to say I loved Pea Ridge so much that I chose to keep my girls there. And so the procedure was fairly simple. I had to go to the school board, and they gave me some paperwork that had to be signed off on by both principals at Pea Ridge and at Dixon Intermediate, saying that I could keep the kids at Pea Ridge. Basically, Pea Ridge had to say that they had room, and Dixon Elementary, I keep wanting to say intermediate, they had to say that they were willing to release us to go to Pea Ridge. And then I had to sign saying that there would be no bus service, which I was fine because I was driving the girls. And so I loved Pea Ridge Elementary. So I can't say enough good things about it. So to Pea Ridge, you're going to be at about 15 minutes, 5 miles. So not too far. And then I went ahead and pulled up, you've got the middle school right here. And so my daughter's asking for my pizza recipe because we love to make homemade pizza. So middle school, Sims Middle School right here is about 3 miles, 7 minutes. And again, because of the location of the neighborhood being right here, you can either go south on Spencerfield, take Adams, go on Chumuckla and get over that way, or you could go north on Spencerfield over to Berry Hill, come down to Lubo and come that way. So either way is probably going to be about the same amount of time. And then the high school is located right here. So for the high school, you'll come down West Spencerfield and you'll turn on Norris, and the high school is right here in that area. Okay, now the mall. Let's say shopping. If you love to shop and you want to know where the mall is located, our closest mall is Cordova Mall. And so to the mall is about 15 miles, 30 minutes, so not bad at all. So sometimes we go to the mall. My kids love going to the mall. My kids are now grown. They're turning 19 in a matter of days. Crazy how time flies. And so they love going to the mall. So the mall is super close, easy to get to. And let's see what else. Okay, the beach. If you love going to the beach, I love going to the beach. You're looking at about 45 minutes. So for the beach, you can either come over the bridge into Pace, come down Davis Highway, hop onto 110, and then you will cross over the 3 mile bridge there. That'll bring you into Gulf Breeze, and then you'll cross over the Pensacola Beach Bridge here. So you could come that way, or you could also take the scenic route, which would be along the bay down Scenic Highway. So they both work out to be about exactly the same, either one. So you could do either way to get to Pensacola Beach. And the park nearby, it is Benny Russell Park. So you could walk. There is a sidewalk that has been added here, so you could walk to the park from the neighborhood, or you could drive over there, and the park is right here. And I love this park. We have so many special memories with my girls here. I want to say we celebrated their 5th birthday. So there are pavilions there. So we had their birthday there when they were young. We got a piñata. Well, since then, the park has been made even more beautiful, and it's grown. They've added a splash pad to it. They've added another section. There's bathrooms. So it's a beautiful, beautiful park right here close by. And then I do want to tell you about one other great park in the area, because when my kids were young, I remember we ended up becoming part of a mom's group. I think it was called Mothers of Preschoolers. And I stayed home with the kids for 3 years. And so I met this group, and then we would have play dates. And so the other park that we would go to that I want to show you on the map is Carpenter's Park. So this one is over in Milton. And even though it's a little bit of a drive over, you'll take Berry Hill to get over, and it is on the river. This is a beautiful park, which also has a splash pad that's been added to it. But the cool thing about this one is that a lot of times there's ducks there, and there's a public boat launch here, boat ramp right here. And so it's just really nice. You'll see people fishing over here. You'll see they've added a really nice walkway here along the water. So this one's also beautiful because it's on the water. So wanted to make sure you knew about these two great parks. And lastly, oh, nope, that was everything. Okay, so that was everything I wanted to show you on how to get around. So if you have any questions about moving to the area, if you have questions specifically about this home and you would like to schedule a time to see it, like I said, all of my contact info is down below. Feel free to call, text, or email us anytime. Thanks so much for watching today.